Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Waters fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to
Boah.
King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am Rusty.
Rusty, that ain't right Friday.
That ain't right.
So I got a couple of things. One, I've got a little article here written March 7th by Keegan Kelly. It says, Hank Hill's most endearingly naive moments on King of the Hill. So I just want to go through this real quick. Then you've got an article that comes from Pamela Adlon talking at South by Southwest.
I got an email too.
And then an email to read. So once again, this is on Cracked because they seem to do the most King of the Hill coverage. Number 5, there's 5 of these. Hank thought Gail was just smoking a hand-rolled cigarette with a weak flame. That was the pot episode where Hank is afraid he got high.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that episode because I can't imagine Hank ever doing that willingly. You know, he did say during that episode that Mexican tobacco sure does make a man hungry.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. That's great. Number 4, Hank let Buck convince him that he had killed Debbie in a doobie haze. So this is in the next episode, right? Because that's a two-parter where Debbie dies in a dumpster. And Buck tries to basically frame Hank, which is it's pretty rough.
That is rough. That is absolutely very rough.
There's 3 people I think would do that. Well, probably 2.5. Buck, I think, would frame him any chance he got because if it means Buck can pull his fat out of the fire, he's going to. Dale, because Dale is a terrible friend. And then Peggy might do it in certain circumstances. She would throw Hank under the bus, I believe.
I believe so, too. I believe that's what she would do.
But the one that kills me is Buck because Hank gives him every bit of attention, time, talent, treasure, everything.
Yeah, no, he does.
Number 3, Hank's plan to lose Snoop Dogg during a car chase. So we've not gotten to this one yet.
No, we haven't gotten to it, and it was something I never really observed before. But they casted Snoop Dogg, a black guy, as a white pimp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Alabaster Jones.
Alabaster Jones.
Voiced
and alabaster. The funny thing about the word alabaster is that it means white. Yeah.
It says voiced by D.O.G. Would consider breaking traffic laws to be a bridge too far in his criminal career. This is the one where Hank dresses up like a pimp, and they call him the Mac Daddy of Heimlich County.
The Mac Daddy of Heimlich County. I remember that episode. That's a good one.
Number 2, Hank tried to help Luann join the Mile High Club, which is really nuts. This is Happy Hanksgiving during this one. And then he finds out that the quote-unquote application is more of an audition.
Yeah.
Hank is he can be very naive.
Very
but
naive.
I think sometimes
He's not the only person on King of the Hill
Oh,
that's
God,
naive
no.
though. Peggy is
no,
the worst.
Peggy's super naive. She thinks she knows it all, but she does not.
I think out of the Hill household, Bobby is the least out of all of them for naivete.
yeah.
I feel like all the rest of them are super naive.
All right, last one. Number 1 on this list of naive Hank times. Hank paid sticker price for every car he ever bought and not a penny more. So I don't think we've gotten to this one yet. Hank gets involved in these car torching things.
No, we haven't got to that
or no,
one
I'm
yet.
sorry. Car. Yeah. And he is under arrest.
Mhm.
Remember that? He's looking for a car.
Yeah.
And then the guy at the dealership says Hank is the most honest man I know.
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If he looks you in the eye and shakes your hand and tells you that he didn't do something, then he didn't do it. Which, okay,
It's pretty true.
I'm not sure that
I'm not
that's
gonna
going
argue that.
I'm not sure that's ever going to get you out of jail. But all right.
I wouldn't argue that though. I mean, Hank's a pretty respectable man.
So those are the top 5 times that Hank was naive on
Yeah.
King of the Hill.
All right.
What you got? You got an email for us?
I'm gonna do a few things. So
Okay.
I've got email, one of our reviews that kind of made me laugh.
Some
I'm pretty sure I haven't read this one
Interpretive
yet.
dance.
And then our chart listing because it's
Yeah.
funny. There's some charts that were listed
Let's go
on
for
right
it.
now that are funny that I think. So starting off, Jay sent an email 4 days ago, and he
you know
specifically
who this is?
No, I don't know who this
Okay.
is. And he specifically wanted to tell us something about the last episode we recorded.
Okay.
But it was just his first bit that I liked. He said, "Hey guys, love your show. Part of my weekly regimen is to catch up with each episode and laugh along and reminisce with you."
Thanks, Jay.
And then the part,
But you guys
about-
suck. Is what
yeah,
the
but
rest
you
of it
guys
says.
suck. No, but he goes to say, I don't know if you caught it, but in Hank in the Glass Elevator, when Bill runs into Lenore at the banquet, she has a date by her side, and if you look at him, he says he's a replica of Bill, but thin and with hair. And he said it caused him to bust a gut. So thanks, Jay, for
That's fantastic, Jay.
emailing
Thank you
us
so much.
and doing that. And
Just thanks for taking
we
the time to
appreciate
reach
it.
out like that. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing, one of the reviews that we have, we got a review. Let's see here. It was in February. The show is good. Hosts are pretty enjoyable and witty.
Pretty.
Witty.
No, I'm
Oh,
just saying.
pretty enjoyable.
Pretty
Yeah, I
enjoyable.
got you.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Could do without the occasional left-wing political commentary.
Oh my goodness.
Which I think we've stated we don't really care. I wouldn't vote for either person that's in right now.
Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Anybody that thinks I'm left wing is nuts because I am straight down to freaking middle.
Yeah.
I don't want either one of those idiots in.
No,
in
I don't
charge.
think any guy that we have. I don't think any option we have right now is a good
No, it all
option.
sucks.
You're just picking the lesser of two evils.
And you can
whoever
take that
pick.
from me anytime you want. They all
Yeah.
suck.
But could do without the occasional left-wing political commentary. Not as bad as other podcasts, but still noticeable. I should not be able to tell what political side you fall on. See, this is.
I don't think I've
I have
ever-
I have a little bit of trouble with this particular sentence.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be able to tell what political side you fall on by listening to a podcast about a 90s TV show.
Sure.
But it seems like all podcasters are left wing for whatever reason. It just gets a tad old. Well, I don't know what to say. Listen to Alex Jones if you want conservatism to the extreme. That's where
Yeah,
you'll get
I
that.
don't-
But you can't really talk about shows that deal with societal things
Sure.
and stuff like that and
And not
pop
bring some of
culture
this up,
and
yeah.
not bring a little bit of it up because it's a little bit relevant because this show as everybody hates and we pointed it out 100 times is written by a bunch of left wingers. This
Yeah.
show is a left wing show as much as everybody wants it to be this super right wing conservative show. It's just not. It really is a really good show. It's won awards for being liberal. It won awards for the Asian heritage. People gave awards for it for how they handled the Laotian Khan thing. So whatever on that part. Also, audio is sometimes off. I'm still in the older seasons, which when we were still trying to figure everything out. So
sure.
sometimes the show's very low volume depending on what I'm doing to listen to it in my
We've tried
headphones.
to figure it out.
Which we're getting there. It should be better. And when a guest comes on, they're often terrible audio wise, and end up needing to skip those altogether. Which
we can't control how they.
We
call
can't
us.
control that. But what we'll try to do is when we have audio, we'll try from now on to do a Zoom or something instead of a phone call to help you guys out on that part.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I do a lot of phone calls and a lot of Zooms during the week.
Yeah.
Because this is a working podcast studio, and none of them are any good.
None of them really are any good.
Every once in a while, I'll get one that's great.
Yeah.
But that's because the person on the other end of the line has like a professional microphone
and
or something
they
like
have it all
that,
set up
you know?
properly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just hard. We can't predict what
It's
equipment
tough.
people are
It
using.
is.
And also, to finish off everything I have before the article, I checked the podcast charts, and it only shows me Apple unless I pay for it.
By the way, thank you for sending that.
Oh yeah, we
no matter
appreciate the
what.
review. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he left us a good review.
But
It's not like
seriously-
he gave us like 0 stars on the review. It's a 4-star review.
I don't want
so-
anybody thinking that I am left wing or right wing. I
Yeah.
am super down the middle, and I am convinced that the rest of the world is too.
Yeah, I
with
think
the
most of
exception
the world
pockets
is. Yeah,
of people.
I think most of the world is down the middle because
You
it's
have
common
to be
sense.
to live your friggin' life.
I feel like it's a common sense thing.
Hmm.
Common sense. If you look at both of the candidates that are here and that we have, like for that are leading both parties,
Mm-hmm.
common sense would tell you that neither of these guys should be involved in politics anymore, or at all. But yeah, so we do appreciate it still. I don't want
Oh,
you to think
yeah.
that we're
Love the
attacking you or
reviews
nothing. I
anyway.
appreciate the
Anyway.
review, and
Yep. Thank
I'm
you.
glad that you find me enjoyable and witty. I kind of smiled when I heard that. So
I'm glad that you find me sort of enjoyable.
yeah,
already.
sort of enjoyable.
Great.
So on the podcast charts, I check it every so often to see where we're
Yeah,
at.
sure.
150.
What is
on-
this chart? Who's it-
It's the
who's it
Apple
with?
Podcast. I
Oh,
use
okay,
a website
okay,
called
okay.
Chartable.
Yeah.
If I paid for it, I'd get more data, which eventually I'm going to pay for it just so
Well,
I can see even more data.
we have Chartable.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know we had
Remind
that.
me about that later. I'll
Yeah,
get you
yeah,
into
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
To get, 'cause I'd like
It's
to check
part
it
of
out.
Megaphone.
I did not know that it was.
Yeah, I
part of
think they bought
Megaphone.
it a while back.
Oh, okay. All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
But we are 150
Mm-hmm.
on the United States Apple Podcast charts for TV reviews in
Really?
the United States.
Well, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
23 in Romania.
Oh, thank you, Romanians.
So shout out to my Romanians. Te iubesc, which means I love you. So I love all of you Romanians. Thank you.
Gypsy heavy? right?
Romanian.
Romanian?
That's where you get where Romania has a really wild history at being where it's located at in the world, and Romanians have been pushed out of Romania. So you do have the Roma gypsies that are like they are kind of like that. But you have gypsies. You have gypsies that are not like Irish travelers.
Yeah,
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so you have it's all kind of different. But actually, there's a huge Romanian community in Axtell.
Really?
There's a big Romanian church, a lot of Romanians that live out there. One of my friends growing up is actually was a Romanian family, and they lived down the street from where I lived. There was 15 kids, 16 kids.
Jeez.
If you went to the school that I went to within like a 20-year time frame, you went to school with 1 or 3 of somebody from that family.
Yeah, sure.
They were having kids from like the 80s all the way to like the 2000s. So if you went to school with I went to school with 3 of them specifically, and I was really good friends with 2 of the boys or whatever. But when they would come and hang out with us, I know this is not King of the Hill related, but it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh because they didn't have a TV at home. So whenever they came over to my friend's house or to anybody's house to hang out, they were just concerned with the TV more than anything. They didn't care about going outside to do it because their whole life,
the thing they didn't have.
Their whole life is going outside to play, doing some kind of work, or reading. That's all they. Their entertainment at home was reading books.
Right.
So whenever they came over, it would be like 2 a.m. and we're like playing video games or we're doing something else. We're going outside, and then you go inside and it's the 2 Romanian kids watching infomercials. But they didn't care. Like they did not
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, they didn't care
like
what
they
was
didn't
on,
care
yeah.
what. They didn't even understand the concept of changing the channel to go to a different channel to not watch that what you wanted to watch. And it's not like that for all the Romanians that I knew, but they grew up really like Orthodox because the church that they go to is a Romanian Orthodox church, that kind
Sure.
of thing. So I
So
always thought that was kind of neat.
one thing I did, this is stupid, but one thing I
Yeah.
did look up was urban legends in Romania.
Yeah.
One of them is the kidnapped children found in Transylvania. Is Transylvania in Romania?
Yeah, Transylvania is in
Okay.
Romania. Yeah.
So this is about the Pied Piper that you hear about.
yeah, the
right?
Pied Piper story. Yeah.
That eventually, one of the things says eventually he got the kids to jump off a cliff.
Ooh.
But this says, however, instead of dying, they reappeared in the Vagus Cave in Transylvania. This would explain why there are a bunch of German-speaking, blonde-haired, and blue-eyed people in this region of Romania.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of
That's
kind
crazy.
of cool.
That's
honestly.
crazy.
They have
Well,
a-
that's the thing about that
They
whole
also have
like
human-eating
Western
lakes, by
Europe.
the way.
That's the whole thing about Western and Eastern Europe is
Yeah.
that people have been there for so
a
long
million years. Yeah.
that everything is just so weird, and that's the reason why Putin is kind of able to do what he does, because there's pockets of Russians all over
Yeah.
all over Eastern Europe because of the USSR, and that's where he's making a lot of his claims. Is
Right.
oh well, they're this is a Russian enclave, this is a Russian enclave, this is a Russian enclave. Well, they're going to be everywhere, There's Russian enclaves in East Germany. You know what I mean? There's groups of Russians that live there due
Yeah.
to it being that. So what are you going to do? Like Putin's going to walk in and say, all right, well, this part of Germany belongs to me because there's this many Russians. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so so to get to the article,
Yeah, go for it.
The article is it's Pamela Adlon. She talks about the revival and losing Johnny Hardwick and stuff like that. She's confirmed how many episodes that he's done. So he's
Right.
done 4
Oh,
for
okay.
sure.
All
We first thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
And it might be more than that, because our sources are pretty damn solid. Like the information we got was from one of his friends whose house he recorded at, and he said that he recorded 6 episodes. So maybe it wasn't 6 complete full episodes he recorded. Maybe he recorded 4 complete episodes, and
Yeah.
he was, because they don't record them all. They record them. The time frame for recording is not. We record 1, 2, 3. They might kind of record a little bit for this, a little bit for that. I don't know how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that, but rest in peace to Johnny Hardwick. We
Yeah,
had an
no
episode.
kidding.
If you want to go back and listen to an interview we did with one of his buddies. So her quote is, "It feels really special to be bringing the show back. There's a new generation of young writers for finding the sweet spot between what viewers love and respect about the series, and also making it for the new generation of viewers as well."
Yeah.
She says that it was tough losing Johnny Hardwick, but even as tough as it all is, she feels like he's been with them the whole process, in spirit. And so from what I understand is they are gonna recast the 3 people that have passed,
Really?
from what I understand, from information that I've read and stuff. So they are gonna find another Dale. They are gonna find another Luann. They are gonna find another Tom Petty, Lucky. They're gonna find people that could do their voices. And in the world that we live in, there is somebody out there that probably sounds identical to those characters. Because
Well, I think of Jordan.
I think of him too. Yeah. He does really good. He does really good. Imitations of voices. So yeah, that's all I had. We got a new show coming eventually, guys. So we just got to hang on. We got to hang on for another year, and then we'll have. We should have King of the Hill on Hulu in 2025.
Yeah,
So
man. I am looking forward to this.
I'm looking forward to it. So whenever it does air, guys, me and Mike have kind of loosely discussed. We'll do this for you guys, and this might be the only time we do something this wild as far as podcasting goes. But we're gonna come up to the studio that night and crank out the first podcast episode ever of the first series, or the new series, or the continuation of the series, if you will, for you guys. That way, when you wake up the next morning of the air, it'll be there, and you'll be able to follow along with us from the beginning. So as long as that show goes, we'll separate. We're gonna separate the two. We're not just gonna wait till we get to season 14 is what I think it'll be,
Yeah.
or 13. We're going to go ahead and start the new series while we're still continuing on with the old series. So just wanted to clarify that for y'all. We're not going to like just stop what we're doing here to start that. We're going to finish this while we're doing that, because we're not going to wait. I'm not waiting another 6
No.
years to talk about the new
No,
show.
it's silly.
We got to talk
Yeah.
about it
What,
now.
What I'm assuming will happen is we will do
It'll be like a third
old
day.
episode, new episode. It might replace our Fridays or something.
Yeah.
For a while, whenever
Yeah.
a new one comes out, or
Maybe something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I imagine they'll dump it all at once. I just don't see them doing a week-to-week release.
I don't know. Streaming. I'm going to go out on a limb here and really put myself out there. Streaming sucks. No matter where you do it or how you do it, it blows. And so there's no rhyme or reason to it right now. You don't know if they're going to drop the whole thing one at a time. You don't know if they're going out of business, going to sell to each other.
What
the
I've
hell's gonna happen?
noticed about, because they just have this new show called Shogun on Hulu, and I thought, I'm watching episode 1, I watch episode 2, and then there's no other episodes. I got to wait till the next week. And what it is Hulu, of course, is owned by Disney, and Disney owns like half the channels that are on cable TV. So FX does Shogun.
Mm-hmm.
So they released the first 2 episodes like they do for every premiere of every major show. They'll give you 2 hours of it, and then you start getting the episodic week to week thing. So that's what Shogun's doing.
Well,
I hope King of the Hill does that. Honestly, I
And
hope
then
they go week to week.
I read a
instead
thing.
of just dumping it.
Read a thing the other day that insiders are expecting HBO to sell to Netflix. And so, I mean, that would be a huge deal. And the issue is that nobody makes any money streaming because nobody does it right.
They don't
it's
really
all
make
terrible,
a lot of money.
and it's all split up into 46 different apps, and you don't know where the hell anything is or how to continue watching anything or whatever.
Oh, the chart's updated.
It just sucks.
We're 172 in India.
Oh, boy. There we go.
23 in Romania, 150 in the U.S., and 172 in India.
I don't know if this figure's correct, but I was watching New Girl the other day, and they brought up that there's like 800 million men in India because she was talking to Cece about who was available for her to marry.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're 172 on a chart full of 800 million men, I guess we're doing okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's pretty
I think
good.
it's probably the women that are pushing us up the chart.
Maybe. I don't know.
These sultry, sexy voices.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thanks again for joining us on a
appreciate it.
Friday. We really appreciate it. You want to tell them where they can find us?
Yep. You could find us at bwaaaakoth.com.
Hey, also check out Swimmer's Ear, our Adult Swam podcast. Remember that our Monday episodes that are full episodes are now on video on Spotify as well as on YouTube. And then if you get a chance, please go check out the Patreon. We could use your help.
Yep.
If you can help us, thank you very much. And for you guys that have stuck with us, we really, really appreciate it.
And I'd appreciate if you sent in some ideas for content that we could post
Heck yeah.
on Patreon too. So what do you want to hear or what do you want to see?
Yeah,
So,
if you want my
appreciate it.
notes, let me know. I will. I'm happy to do that. That is a buttload of content for you guys. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a good weekend, and we will see you again Monday.
We Matanye.
We Matanya indeed. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.